Alright, so before I get started today, I want to address the viewers, the new guys who are out looking to purchase their first knife or maybe have a small collection and they're looking to expand it, and the seasoned vets who have a collection already, who have a pretty impressive collection and already know what they look for in knives. I'm going to go ahead and say right off the bat that I absolutely love Spyderco knives. I love them. They are probably in my top 3 knife companies. Top 3, yeah, because they're awesome. They're high quality. They make really good stuff. So this review is going to be kind of a devil's advocate type of review for the Paramilitary 2. And it's just going to be really lighthearted. So I want everybody to hold off on the commenting until they see the whole way through the video. Just wait and see what everything, and when it's all the dust settles, you can comment on it later. So, and no more delay. Bam! That is the Paramilitary 2. This is kind of your standard black blade, black G10, S30V Paramilitary 2. It's not anything, it's not a sprint run, it's nothing special. Just the regular one that you would find in a store or online. If you do any kind of searching online and you do any reading in any forums or blogs, most people praise this knife as one of the best EDC knives, if not the best. It's kind of a grail knife for a lot of guys. One of my biggest things with this knife, which I do like, is that you guys know this ahead of time, is that it is not a fixed blade, it's a folder. So there's a weak point right there. That's a weak point. So in a situation where you would need a fixed blade, like say I work in Maryland and I live in Pennsylvania now, but if I had broken down in Maryland and I had to walk all the way back to Pennsylvania for whatever reason, and for some reason I got stuck overnight and had to sleep in the woods, then I would want a fixed blade, you know? If this was the only thing I was carrying, I'd be kind of upset about it, to be perfectly honest, just because it's a folder. I guess a lot of people praise the cost on it because it's S30V, which is a premium steel. But it's this one, I bought this one, and this was hard to find because these things are kind of hard to come by at this very moment. But this was $150. And that's kind of the standard price I was seeing online. So I picked it up and I purchased it. I bought it in store at Edgeworks in Frederick, Maryland. But yeah, I paid $150 for this, and not to sing the praises of any other knives on this right now, but this is a big chunk of S30V right here. And this is the White River Knives Backpacker. And this thing I am going to do a review on, but I love it. Love this thing. This is one full chunk right there. And one, it's a fixed blade. It's smaller once this is deployed. It's smaller than that, lighter than that, and it's got the same steel. And this was $90. So there's gonna be people that say, "Oh yeah, the inner workings of the folding knives, they take a lot more time, a lot more machining, blah 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 blah." This one's paracord wrapped, doesn't have handle slabs, whatever. It doesn't matter. If we're talking strictly on steel, this is S30V. This is S30V. This is 90. This is 150. So that's one of my first qualms with this thing. So we got the fact that it's not a fixed blade, and then we got the cost of this versus this. The other thing that I kind of have an issue with is the compression lock. Now a lot of things I see on there say this is one of the best designed locking mechanisms, and the way that works is you pinch this thing right here, the compression lock, and that's how the knife retracts. So if I pinch this right here, this brings the knife right back in. That brings the blade and puts it out. And it also, once it's deployed, and it moves over to the side. So a lot of people praise this, and they say that it's one of the best locking mechanisms you can have. They put it up against the axis lock and all these other different types of locks. I recently saw a video that, and I'm going to say this, but I don't want you to take it out of context. It is produced, the video is produced by Cold Steel Knives, so it could possibly be biased. That's a very real possibility. But I'm going to put it in the link. There's a video of the triad lock versus the compression lock, and this lock absolutely, totally failed. It was just miserable. This was one of the worst videos I've seen of testing locking mechanisms. This one did the worst of almost all the videos I've seen as far as folding locking mechanisms. So check that video out, and take it for what it's worth. So it could be propaganda by Cold Steel, who knows? But either way, you got to check it out. You got to take the information for what it's worth and go from there. The other thing that I have an issue with is the blade itself. So I know a lot of companies may not do this. I know for a fact that Benchmade does do this. So let's say that, like I said, I'm walking back from Maryland, and I end up in the woods because we broke down or whatever, and I have to walk back, and I use this to chop up firewood or break down kindling, whatever you want to say, you know, and I beat up the blade real bad, like nicks and all, it's whatever it is, if I break the tip off. Benchmade, if you send in the knife, will reattach a brand new blade for, I think it's like $30. They'll put on a brand new blade and your knife will be good as new. Spyderco doesn't offer that option. Now, granted, I'm sure there's a lot of companies that don't offer that option. That may just be a perk of buying a Benchmade, but either way, if you're going to use this knife and they're going to praise it as the best EDC knife of all time, then you're going to have to, you know, factor in some other stuff. And that's kind of an issue for me, because now knowing that Benchmade does that makes me kind of upset about Spyderco not doing it. Anyway, that's another thing. One other issue I have with it is every time I get online and I look it up, there is not one objective review on it. Every single thing I see praises it. I've never seen a negative review on a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 at all. Not one. I can't find one. I challenge you to find one, post it in the comments. I cannot find one. Everybody praises it. There's nobody saying anything bad about it, which is really surprising to me, because most guys that are in the boys club for other knife companies, they would bash it in a second, but I haven't seen anything. So I don't know, that kind of weirded me out about it, made me a little skeptical. One of the last things that I have an issue with is the weight and size for being an EDC knife. Why isn't it a fixed blade? So this weighs, I think it's 3.7 ounces is what I read, 3.7 ounces, something like that. For 3.7 ounces, you could get something like this. So given this is not the best blade, not, you know, the most high quality, this is a Mora Bushcraft Black fixed blade, and they are almost the same size once this is deployed. They're both black, and without the sheath, because this is just some junky plastic sheath, this would obviously be replaced if I was going to carry it every day, probably get something Kydex. This is 4.2 or 4.3 ounces, and this is 3.7, so they are really not that different. And for the extra couple ounces, I would absolutely take a fixed blade over a folder any day of the week. I mean, that's just reliability right there. You're going to have more success with this in a survival slash EDC roll than you would with this, because I mean, obviously it's one slab of steel versus having this weak point right here in the knife. So there's that. And if we go down the whole list of things, price wise, that's a huge factor in everything, is quality versus cost versus all that. You could have for this price, for the price of this, $150, you could have one of these in S30V, and you could almost buy a Kershaw Blur in S30V. So that's kind of frustrating, because you could buy two separate other S30V knives for the price of this one, and one's a folder, one's a fixed blade. So you could almost, it's frustrating to me. That's my biggest qualm with it. Is there's a lot of things, a lot of people praise it about a lot of different stuff. And those are my issues with it. There's just so much. It's not a fixed blade. The cost versus other knives. The compression lock hype, because obviously if you check out that video, it's iffy at best. Now maybe Cold Steel's biased, but who knows. And there's not an option to replace the blade. There's no objective reviews online, and the weight is the same as other fixed blades that you could have that are almost the same exact length. So yeah, that's kind of my downsides to it. Now, the good things I have to say about it. It's kind of like owning a Ferrari, you know, versus like a Honda Civic. Honda Civic, you can get replacement parts for it right down the street from your house. Walmart has replacement parts for a Honda Civic. A Ferrari is a sexy beast that just, it's a nice car, and, you know, it's great, but you're not going to get parts at Walmart for a Ferrari. So it's kind of like that. This is a sweet, sexy knife, but you know what? You're not going to get parts for it down the street, and it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to maintain, that kind of thing. The opening system is another good thing. It is lightning fast. See, it's butter right in here. I forget what the liners are, but it's copper, I think. But either way, it is super fast, and it's really fun to play with. Another thing is the pure badassery of this knife. It's all blacked out. Sweet. It's just a tough looking knife, you know? Very military-esque kind of feel to it. And then the jimping on this thing. Oh, jeez. Jimping for days. Your finger is not going anywhere when you get a hold of that. It is just, it bites down on you without causing pain. Bites down on you, and it is just not, you're locked in. It's not going anywhere. And the last thing I really have to say about this is it's kind of a piece of art, to be honest. And that's one thing I've noticed about, you know, collecting knives, is that it's kind of a form of art collecting, because guys put time and effort into this and designing them and making them pretty and functional, that when you collect it, I mean, this is nice. I really like this. It's a really pretty knife. You know, it's kind of basic in color and stuff, but it's fun. It's pretty. It's just badass. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. There are a lot of things about it that I don't think are that cool. A lot of things about it that I would change if at all doable. But you know, for what it is, it's pretty sweet. So make your own, you know, informed decision about it. And I mean, get your hands on one if you can, just to play with it before you buy it. But know that it is a folder, and for the weight, cost, and all that other stuff, you could do a fixed blade, maybe two. All right, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking.